Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good morning, and welcome to this 10th session of the African Regional Forum on Sustainable Development. I want to start by expressing my gratitude to the government and people of Ethiopia as host of the 10th edition of this forum. I also wish to thank the chair of the outgoing bureau, the government of Niger, and to the United Nations entities and our partners, especially the African Union Commission and the African Development Bank, for their collaboration in making this event a success. I want to convey a special thanks for the leadership of the Deputy Secretary General in championing Africans' issues at the global level and during the preparatory process of this event. Thank you very much, DSG. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, this year's theme focuses on sustainable, resilient, and innovative solutions that reinforce the implementation of the African Union Agenda 2063 and the Sustainable Development Goals. Our theme underscores the urgency of addressing critical challenges facing Africa, from growing public debt burden to climate-related disasters and shrinking fiscal space because of increasing financial needs. The continent is at crossroad. We have 21 countries in or at risk of high debt distress, only 2 countries with investment-grade ratings, high-risk premiums that cost the continent up to $75 billion, and the climate challenges that reduce budgets by up to 5% of GDP on an annual basis. Yet, Africa's infrastructure and climate change needs are estimated to cost between $68 billion and $108 billion annually in US dollars. The financing options are either to borrow nationally or crowd out the private sector, or borrow externally and face exchange rate fluctuations. Despite Africa's remarkable resilience, evidenced by its status as the second fastest growing region globally, we cannot overlook the stark realities of poverty, hunger, and inequalities. At the recent ECA Conference of Ministers of Finance, Planning, and Economic Development, and the spring meetings of the IMF and World Bank, African leaders voiced concerns over the inadequacies of the global financial architecture in meeting Africa's evolving needs. The triple crisis of food, energy, and climate further underscore the imperative for transformative action. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the Africa Regional Forum is one of the most important development platforms, not least because of the urgent need to get back on track to achieve the SDGs and the Agenda 2063. We cannot do business as usual. Mindful of the interconnectedness of the SDGs, we need to be selective and focus on areas that will trigger a cascading domino effect and deliver maximum impact on the ground. And we must deliver at both national and regional levels. The United Nations has identified 6 transitions as key investment pathways for SDGs delivery. And these are food systems, energy access and affordability, digital connectivity, education, jobs and social protection, and climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. Our discussions today must delve into strategic interventions that leverage Africa's vast natural resources, particularly critical minerals that are essential for the global transition to green economies. For example, recent analysis by Bloomberg estimates that the battery and electric vehicle market in Africa is expected to reach 46 trillion by the year 2052. The projected demand surge for these minerals necessitates proactive measures to harness Africa's potential wealth generation. And renewable energy stands as a backbone for sustainable development, with untapped opportunities to drive investments and promote energy security across the continent. In addition, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area presents a unique opportunity to boost agribusiness and enhance food security, a cornerstone of resilience in the face of multifaceted challenges. We must take advantage of these opportunities to turn the tide from climate disasters to climate resilience. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, collaboration remains paramount, not only among UN agencies, but also with the African Union, regional bodies, development banks, and grassroots initiatives. The Africa Regional Collaborative Platform helps us bring the regional initiatives to support UN country teams on the ground. Progress in advancing national food systems strategies in countries like South Sudan, Kenya, and Madagascar demonstrates the tangible impact of coordinated efforts at the regional and country levels. Furthermore, the African Union and United Nations partnership frameworks on development, peace, and security and humanitarian issues ensures that implementation of the SDGs go hand in hand with the Agenda 2063. It is also important to note that private sector engagement is equally critical in catalyzing transformative change, but we need to make it easier for them to do business. This requires intentional and collective efforts to enhance the de-risking mechanism so that the private sector can play its role in financing large-scale interventions. Innovative financing mechanisms coupled with reforms in the global financial architecture can unlock new avenues for sustainable investment and inclusive growth. As we chart our course forward, let us remain cognizant of the interconnectedness of our goals. The decisions and commitments forged during the forum will reverberate across global platforms, shaping the Addis Ababa Declaration and key messages for the upcoming high-level political forum and summit of the future. Excellencies, in closing, I reaffirm our collective resolve to place Africa at the forefront of sustainable development. Our actions today will define the trajectory of our continent's future, ensuring that no one is left behind on the path to prosperity and resilience. The Secretary General's proposal of a $500 billion a year SDG stimulus signaled to the world that the global financial architecture system must be redesigned to leave no one behind. The inclusion of the African Union to the G20 recognizes that Africa will no longer be a rule taker, but a rule maker. Furthermore, the Global Digital Compact offers Africa the chance to level the playing field on the concentration of economic powers. Moreover, the 2025 Financing for Development Conference and World Social Summit will be a litmus test in the global rebalance towards fairness, equity, and social justice. Finally, the start of the second 10-year implementation plan of the Agenda 2063 and the midway point of the SDGs provide unique opportunities for the African Union and the United Nations to scale joint implementation. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, therefore, what forms the Addis Ababa Declaration will matter. The task before us is to demonstrate that there are no global sustainable solutions without Africa at the center. The Pact for the Future is a pact with Africa, and the entire United Nations system remains committed to working with you to deliver on the promises of leaving no one behind. I thank you very much for your kind attention.